medicine. Baby, your love's my medicine. When I'm up, bring me down. Your love's my medicine. Baby, your love's my medicine. When I'm up, bring me down.
I don't think I've really ever been in like deep love. I feel like I've had love for individuals, but I somehow end up breaking up with the person I'm with. It's different times you can experience heartbreak. Like you could be in the relationship feeling heartbroken, and then when you leave the relationship, you're at this point where you're not even heartbroken no more.
Your love's my medicine. Baby, your love's my medicine. When I'm up, bring me down. Your love's my medicine. Baby, your love's my medicine. When I'm up, bring me down.
Over the course of the past 2 years, Trippie Redd has written a total of 4 love letters, with each one bringing a different perspective on his current hardships and heartbreak. By creating projects with so many layers of truth and emotion, he has successfully connected with his fans in a way that many artists struggle to accomplish. Although the love letters are not the only bodies of work that Trippie has released throughout his career, they are a staple of his legacy and a personal favorite of mine. It's also fascinating to see an artist such as himself evolve and mature his sound with each project, yet maintain the unique qualities that set him apart in the first place. In this video, we are not only going to take a closer look at his journey, but also dive deeper into the love letters themselves. Because as Trippie once said, I don't write songs, I write life. Mark, where the f did you come from? Bro, I'm trying to watch this movie. May 12th, 2017, the day that Michael Lamar White the 4th, I think that means 4th, aka Trippie Redd would drop his debut mixtape, A Love Letter to You. At the time, this was a highly anticipated project from a bubbling SoundCloud artist that started to make waves in 2016. Prior to this release, Trippie Redd had not seen success in the mainstream, yet was building a name for himself in the underground scene. He did this by collaborating with artists such as Lil Wop and Cody Shane, and dropping songs such as Love Scars and Trap Star in 2016. Both these tracks would end up on his 4th EP titled White Room Project that would release on January 18th of 2017, and would set Trippie up for his breakthrough mixtape, A Love Letter to You. See, before he had written his first love letter project and tracks such as Love Scars, his music was much less raw. To clarify what I mean, his vocal delivery and cadence was more tame and auto-tune heavy when he started off making music, in comparison to now where he really takes advantage of his God-given voice that allows him to create extremely emotive songs, hence helping him stand out from the rest. This is especially evident when you listen to his older songs such as Water, where you can hear a clear distinction in his overall sound. He had even said himself that he would try to focus more on the lyrical aspect of rap in the past and was not quite happy with the stuff he was making at the time. Let's now jump ahead and look at the song Love Scars, that released in November of 2016. Although it didn't initially pop off, it went on to gain traction as 2017 came around and eventually turned into his breakthrough single. The unique sample used in the instrumental, fun fact from the Nintendo classic that I grew up playing, Metroid, and his punk rap style made it a standout for many, and to this date, arguably one of his best songs.
I mean, Love Scars, of course. I just hit 1 million on that song. It's my first M. The vibe for that is just like, Love Scars. Like, there's plenty more females out here. I ain't tripping on one.
As he just discussed, the track's main message was to not get caught up over one troubled relationship or person when there are plenty more fish in the sea. He also elaborated on the track's meaning in his contribution to the song's page on Genius by saying, I made this song so y'all can vibe to it and realize it yourself. Don't fall in love with no. Yeah, that's some pretty deep. I personally love everything about this song, and like many others out there, recall it being one of my first introductions to him as an artist. With Love Scars starting to catch a lot of people's attention, he would go on to make another big play in early 2017 by collaborating with a fellow bubbling artist who just happened to also be his BFF, 6ix9ine. Well, I don't really know about the BFF part. Who really knows? The song Polls 1469 would quickly go viral, accumulating over 150 million views on YouTube, which only added to the buzz for Trippie's first mixtape that would drop dropped just 2 weeks later. At this point, everything was lining up perfectly for A Love Letter to You to succeed. It was also a matter of time that the hip-hop community gave Trippy the attention he deserved. Not just being known as the Lil Uzi Vert wannabe, but being recognized for the unique talent that he was.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, I'm incredibly happy to be here with a couple of guys that I have an enormous amount of faith in, that I really believe are going to be tearing up the rap world over the course of the next year, if they're not already, which they are already. I got my Trippie Redd and Lil Wop. How you guys doing?
Adam was right. Trippy would go on to tear up the rap game after the release of A Love Letter to You. Yet I don't know if you can say the same about Lil Wop. Shout out to him though. After Trippie Redd's debut mixtape was finally released, it only continued to gain momentum as time went on. Songs such as Romeo and Juliet and Love Scars Part 1 and 2 would do extremely well, all receiving music videos on large hip-hop channels and platforms such as Pigeons and Planes, World Star, and Lyrical Lemonade. In my opinion, the music video for Romeo and Juliet was the most iconic of the bunch due to the nostalgic visuals and the overall vibe of the video that just fit the song perfectly. Also, people in 2043 are still watching it, which just goes to show how timeless it truly is.
Isn't it only 2019 still?
Yeah, it actually is. I don't know what the this guy's talking about. In terms of this project's commercial performance, it would go on to be certified gold in 2018 and received great reviews from critics, who praised his harmonious delivery and diversity, whatever that means. This tape just showcased Trippie Redd's talent extremely well by him including a balance of emotional melodic trap, club bangers, and even sprinkling in a flash of his lyrical talent with the track Can You Rap Like Me. For his first love letter, it had everything his fans could wish for, yet left us wanting more. Luckily, this was just part one of the story, as A Love Letter to You 2 was just around the corner.
I work hard. And with that, what I want to say is October 6th, man, A Love Letter to You 2.
So as you guys just saw, 4 months after A Love Letter to You came out, Trippie Redd announced that the sequel in the series was to be released on October 6th of 2017. This was more than a pleasant surprise for fans who just wanted new music from one of the hottest young artists in the game, especially after being treated to a surprise 2-song EP called A Love Letter You'll Never Get in August, which in retrospect was just a teaser for A Love Letter to You 2, since both these songs ended up on the mixtape. Which is also ironic because we did get the love letter in the end, I guess. Although he had been previously compared to Lil Uzi Vert, Trippie Redd had one of the most distinctive sounds out of any of the artists popping off at the time. In fact, in an interview with Rolling Stones, he claimed that only him and X had mastered the emo-heavy punk hip-hop style that was taking over rap at the time, specifically stating that, "I perfected this style. I'm not necessarily even a part of all the new wave. Me and X, I feel like we're in our own little category. We're the only artists I know that are on something else. We're timeless." These were some big words from an artist who was still on the come up at the time, but I do believe there is some truth to that statement. In my personal experience, even though we are in the fast food era of hip hop, I constantly find myself going back to Trippie Redd and X's songs from the past, with all their music maintaining a great replayability factor that I struggle to find with other artists. Since Trippie Redd was at the forefront of this new wave of artists, or like he said in his own category, the expectations for A Love Letter to You 2 were pretty high. And on October 6th of 2017, the fans would find out for themselves if the anticipation was worth it.
Hi everyone, Newfany Book Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Trippie Redd mixtape, A Love Letter to You 2. And I don't know, all I can do is just kind of cross my fingers here and hope that the diamond in the rough that I'm hearing on this thing eventually fully reveals itself on another tape. I'm feeling a decent to strong 5.
Although I don't agree with the Melon's rating of a 5 out of 10 for A Love Letter to You 2, I gotta admit he did make some good points about the project. Tracks such as In Too Deep and Hellboy are easily some of Trippie Redd's best songs to date, with everything from his vocal control, lyrics, and production being near perfect. Yet there are some songs on the project that do fall relatively flat, making it a less complete body of work in my opinion when compared to A Love Letter to You. With that being said though, the majority of his core fan base was still ecstatic with this release. They had just received an album that was not only filled with Trippie Redd's signature vocals and charisma, but also contained bangers that to this day are standouts in his catalog. He also delivered songs with true meaning, tying back to the line that I had quoted from Trippie at the start of the video, "I don't write songs, I write life." In an interview with with Montrality, shout out to them by the way, when asked what the realest thing he ever wrote was, he replied with his first verse from the song Hellboy off A Love Letter to You Too.
I let the money dance, the diamond blings all by itself without any help. So that means it shine on its own without any gold. I've been a king without any throne. It's time to take your ass to school, ain't no place like home on 1400 with the screw up kids. Don't screw up, kid, or that chopper wet your crew up, kid.
See, not only is the focus of Trippie Redd's love letters on love and heartbreak, but they are also used to talk about his life's hardships. In 2014, his older brother, who was also a rapper by the name of Trippie Redd, unfortunately passed away in a tragic car accident. Trippie not only was put on to hip-hop in the first place by his brother, but also looked up to him as a role model in many ways. After his passing, music was used to take Michael out of a dark place and bring him to a much brighter one. Through both listening to and creating music, he was able to find a coping mechanism that no individual person could provide. So on songs such as Hellboy, although he doesn't directly reference his brother, he goes into detail about his life growing up and is able to speak his truth. However, although the first two love letters had plenty of songs filled with emotion and substance, that doesn't mean that they didn't have their fair share of flexing, aka rapping about money, and bling. This is just part of Trippie's persona, and with the release of A Love Letter to You Too, it was clear that he had continued to progress and find the right balance as an artist. So as 2018 was around the corner, it only made sense that the story would be continued and for the next chapter to be written. Yo, Mark, I'm actually kind of getting hungry. I might just go run and get some popcorn quick. Do you want any?
No, I'm good, fam.
All right, I'll be right back. Yo, can you actually pause it? The remote's right beside you. I'll be right back, all right?
First time I seen her was on the gram, and I DM'd her picture to my DM, and then I was in New York, and I hit her up, and she came. You mine now.
There seems to be a pattern where Trippie Redd gets a girlfriend, falls deeply in love, drama occurs, and then they break up, and bam, a new love letter project is released. The girl in this interview, who Trippie Redd was dating for the majority of 2018, goes by the name of Alix or Angvish, not really sure how to pronounce her name, TBH, and was one of his most well-known girlfriends throughout his career. Their relationship was very public as he was seen with her everywhere he went, and although she seemed lifeless at times, he seemed to love her a lot. Until things went downhill and she went off with his arch nemesis at the time, 6ix9ine, leading into a public beef that was in all the headlines. This breakup would occur in mid-2018, helping to inspire the creation of A Love Letter to You 3 that would drop on November 9th of that same year.
This is his album. It's called A Love Letter to You 3. It comes out November 9th. Here with the song Topanga, Trippie Redd.
Yo, Mark, did you not pause the video like I asked?
My bad.
Dude, you had one job, man. Rewind it quick.
This is his album. It's called A Love Letter to You 3. It comes out November 9th. Here with the song Topanga, Trippie Redd.
Topanga would be the lead single for this project, and honestly was an amazing track to set the tone for A Love Letter to You 3. I believe it is one of Trippie's most polished songs to date, and the production brought a fresh new sound that he was able to mesh with perfectly. This song would go on to do very well commercially and had fans ready for A Love Letter to You 3 to finally drop. After the project released, needless to say, it definitely lived up to the hype. Not only being received extremely well by his fans, but also the critics. I mean, just listen to what the Melon had to say.
Even though my feelings on Trippie's projects up until this point have been somewhat mixed, I gotta say I'm pretty happy I mostly enjoyed this one. Yeah.
This album brought back the same exact feelings that I got from the first installment in the series, with every song showcasing the best side of Trippie Redd. By this I mean his passion and character was really felt across the project and nothing was forced. To put this in perspective, his album Exclamation Mark that would come later in 2019 felt manufactured by his label. Everything from the features to the production seemed like it was tailored for the radio and was not the type of music that Trippie broke onto the scene with. Maybe the breakup with Alix really invoked him to make the type of music we hear on A Love Letter to You 3, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, this body of work was a huge success, moving 84,000 units the first week, and like always left the fans wanting more. So after a slower start to 2019 with his studio album Exclamation Mark struggling to make an impact, it was time for his latest love letter to be written.
Wanna fake love me? That's why, you know, A Love Letter to You 4. And I want y'all to know, don't be trying to say I'm dropping a love letter to you for because
you and your latest girlfriend Koi broke up. I mean, I think we all know that had something to do with the timing of A Love Letter to You 4. But there's nothing wrong with that. Music really is the best place to express yourself, and on this latest project, he definitely let us know how he was truly feeling. On November 22nd of 2019, the world received A Love Letter to You 4. After teasing the album on his Instagram in October and dropping singles such as Love Me More and Death featuring DaBaby in the weeks prior, the 4th installment was finally here. Although it has only been out for a short amount of time, I can honestly say this is one of my favorite releases from Trippie Redd. The first song on the track list, Ray, is a standout for me and caught my attention right away, with the simplicity of his delivery and the acoustic instrumental. Then as you venture through the rest of the letter, you get introduced to a more grungy side of Trippie Redd on songs such as The Grinch and The Jungle Book, then get brought back down with very emotional tracks such as Abandoned and Lovesick. The only major downfall with this project is the length, as 20 songs may have been just a tad too long, but overall there's a clear progression evident on this tape that has been built on with each love letter he has released. I know a lot of fans will say they miss the old Trippie Redd, but with anything in life you need to grow and evolve. Through each of these 4 letters, we have witnessed a unique talent truly cement his name in the rap game while giving us a deeper perspective on his life. Whether that was achieved by rapping about his come up, heartbreak, or even just flexing how successful he was, he has created music that fans can connect to. Now the only question left is, will there be a Love Letter to You 5? Only time will tell. But for now, the first 4 chapters are over. Well, that movie was pretty decent, hey?
Yeah, it was alright. Don't you feel like he kind of overanalyzed everything, though?
Yeah, actually he kind of did, not gonna lie. You guys know I can hear you talking, right? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what was your favorite love letter project from Trippie and how would you rank these albums? I'm Marvellous Beatz. I'll catch you guys in the next one real soon. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much. See you soon. I'm out. Peace.
Drugs, pain, work, girls, silly me, honey, bees, money, clothes, shoes, hoes, cold world, pretty girls. It's a cold, cold world filled with pretty